Hello. So today let's talk about neck brace or collar. Can it help with cervicogenic headaches? Now, if your headaches are starting in the neck, the chances are that you might have wondered at some point, should I wear a neck brace or a collar? Maybe a doctor mentioned it to you, maybe somebody in your support group or your friend circle swears by it. Maybe you saw it online in your 2 a.m. searches, desperate for relief from neck pain and headaches. And honestly, the question does make a lot of sense. When your head is pounding, your neck feels heavy, and even holding yourself upright feels like a lot of work or effort. The idea of an external support around your neck feels quite comforting. They sound very comforting. So it's like finally, uh, it's like finally letting something else hold you rather than you having to hold your neck. Of course, that doesn't happen, but just letting the collar take away a little bit of that stress that is building up on your neck. That's what it feels like. Now, a neck brace can be quite helpful. Or it can make things worse, depending on how you use it. So, in today's video, let's talk about what exactly does the neck collar do? When is it useful to use the neck collar? When is it not a great idea to use a neck collar if you have cervicogenic headaches? And of course, the connection between your neck and the headache. Now, for those of you who don't know me, my name is Swati. I'm an executive mom power coach. I help moms of younger kids who work in high stress executive jobs to manage their spinal, that is back and neck, and nerve pain despite low energy levels and lack of focus. Now, I do this by there are lots of ways in which it can help you, but the main ones are some easy exercises, some lifestyle modifications that are not very fancy. It's just easy stuff. And also some tips and tricks that have helped me in my own pain and especially my headache journey. Now, I also talk about low energy levels and lack of focus because with my adrenal fatigue journey, these were the ones I mean, there are lots of symptoms of adrenal fatigue, but these are the ones that were majorly affecting me. And it was very difficult to move on with everyday life, leave alone manage my aches and pains when I had this. So, anyway, here I am with my professional expertise and my personal experience, hoping that your journey to find pain relief isn't as long as mine was. And yeah, let's get into the topic for today because, hey, we're moms, we're busy people. So let's get in the topic, which is can a neck brace or a collar help with cervicogenic headaches? Now, what exactly are cervicogenic headaches? Now, let me just give you a very brief idea on this because if you want details, of course, that's on my YouTube channel. There are lots and lots of videos I've done on this. But in our neck or cervical spine, so coming from your hairline down to where your neck meets the shoulder area, this is your cervical spine. It's made of 7 vertebrae. So if you're looking at the upper to mid cervical spine, which is from your hairline down to about the middle of the neck, so we're looking at about this area, of course, in the middle of your neck at the back. Now, this is the area where if your nerves that exit the spine in this area are getting irritated or compressed, they can lead to a couple of symptoms, one of which is cervicogenic headaches. It can also lead to dizziness, sometimes can lead to nausea. Now, these headaches are very typical because they start in your neck. You feel that tightness or the pain or the heaviness in your neck, especially around the base of your skull, where basically at your hairline. And these headaches go up the head from the back of the head and they go into the side and they can sometimes come into the forehead and behind the eyes as well, but that may or may not happen. Now, a soft collar, we're not talking about those rigid plasticky collars. We're talking about a soft cervical collar or a brace. It can uh, limit the excessive movement. It's not going to like hold you stiff like this, but if you have a problem with your movement, as in the pain in your head can or neck increases with movement, the collar can give you like it's like a scaffolding around a building. So it's like a little support around your neck. It gives you that temporary relief because it restricts your movement to a certain extent. It can reduce the strain when your muscles are already overwhelmed, when your muscles are in spasm and they are sort of done and so tired, it gives you the relief that is needed. So basically, it can calm down your irritated muscles and nerve, reduce the movement during acute flare-up of neck pain. It can provide short-term relief when pain is intense. But remember, it cannot fix the root cause of your cervicogenic headaches. Now, that usually involves posture, muscle coordination, nerve sensitivity, or probably a nervous system stuck in protective mode. What I mean by nervous system stuck in a protective mode is you are always, the nervous system is always on the go, 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 and then it is always stressed and anxious. And because of that, your muscles go into a spasm. They are unable to relax. And when the muscles are in spasm, that itself can irritate or compress the nerve, which can again lead to cervicogenic headaches. So it's like a circle that goes around. And because of the headache, your muscles are in spasm. Again, it increases your headache. So there has to be something that breaks that cycle. Now, a brace can make, of course, a brace can do that. A brace can make sense in the not in the long run, I would say, but in short-term relief. If you are in an acute pain flare-up, and even the smallest movement of your neck lead to a spike in your symptoms or an increase in your symptoms. Obviously, a brace is also used if you have like an acute injury or you've had surgery in your neck, etc. But that's a topic for another day. Or if you are one of those who are prone to neck pain and you're going on a journey or you have a very demanding day ahead of you and you know you need that temporary support. So people do use it for those SOS kind of situations as well. However, think of these neck collars or soft collars or braces as like a crutch for your neck pain. It is helpful in the moment, but it's not meant for long-term living. What happens if you use the collar for too long? Your muscles tend to get dependent on that collar because your muscles are not holding your neck up against gravity. Okay, let me back up a little bit. These muscles are anti-gravity muscles here behind your neck, this area. Now, when you wear the collar for too long, the muscles and the collar are sharing the load. The muscles then tend to get a bit weaker, especially your deeper muscles that form the core muscles of the neck. Um, there is an increased dependency on that brace. And it also gives a signal to your nervous system that your neck muscles are not enough and they always need an external support. So you might have come across people who say, "Oh, I just can't live without my lumbar belt or my neck collar." That's not the case, unless, of course, it's medically needed and a doctor has told you to wear it 24/7. That's a different case. But if you have cervicogenic headaches and you're feeling dependent, as in you can't manage at all without your brace, despite not having an acute or a flare up of your cervicogenic headaches, it is time that you start to wean off the brace. Of course, for weaning off that brace, you need to do two things. One is wean off that brace by strengthening those neck muscles and this core muscles, that is the deeper muscles of your neck. Second thing you need to do is manage your cervicogenic headaches. Now, how do you do that? Now, most cervicogenic headaches improve when you do a gentle cervical alignment, that is postural corrections, some micro movements that can restore the confidence in your neck, some nervous system calming. You could do something as simple as deep breathing. So something like breathe in, breathe out. Of course, there's a lot of breathing techniques out there, and I do talk about them, but we will not talk about the details of how you can manage your cervicogenic headaches in today's video because, sorry, that's my alarm if you can hear it. But we are not going to talk about those details here, otherwise the video will get too long. What I have done is, however, I have made a blog on this topic, and the blog is also called Can a Neck Brace or Collar Help with Cervicogenic Headaches? I will leave a link in the description of this video for that blog. If you're watching me on Instagram, the link is in my bio. However, if you're a mom like me who's very busy, or even if you're just lazy to look up the link, shoot me a message or a comment below and I'll send across the link to you. All right, so I just realized my video looks really dark, but it's just that I had natural sunlight coming in from my window, which is now gone because it's nearly dusk time. It's nearly nighttime for me. Anyway, that doesn't affect the quality of what we are talking. So let's carry on. So that video has, that blog has a video on some easy tips to manage your cervicogenic headaches. It also has uh, links to posture resets, micro movements, and more information on whatever we've talked about, including the headache itself. It also has a link to a course that I have made on, it's called Simple Solutions to Manage Your Cervicogenic Headaches. Now, this gives you the exact tools, the movement routines, the shift that is needed to get to the root of your cervicogenic headache and your neck pain without all the associated overwhelm. It does not add a lot of things to do to your already busy routine. These are things that I have been teaching people over the years, over decades, to manage the cervicogenic headaches. This is something that I used on myself, and it has had excellent results. Now, this is a low cost course just because I want it to be accessible to you, not because it's a low value course. All right. So have a look at that course details in the blog that I just spoke about. And of course, if you have any questions, any comments for me on today's video, do let me know. I'll be happy to help you out. And remember to check out that blog in the description of this video. Alrighty, I'll see you guys next time. Let me know if you have any questions, any doubts, any terminology or terms or words I've used today that you did not understand. Alrighty, see you guys next time. Bye for now.